Hey everyone, welcome to Catalyst Energies. My name is Dee. Thank you for joining me. I'm so grateful that you're here for this daily astrology report for November 20th, 2020, Friday, November 20th. We are coming into the last little bit of this first quarter. The sun is coming into the last degree of Scorpio. Venus is coming into the last degree of Libra. We're going to see a lot of culmination today on the 20th. And I will say, with the moon in Aquarius giving us a sense of detachment emotionally, a little bit of aloofness, and on the positive side of that, a trust, right? A trust and an optimism in the cosmic coherence of things. It is going to be very necessary to really align with this today. And with the sun in the last degree of Scorpio, the power of prayer cannot be understated today. Now, the moon in Aquarius is going to, as you can see, sextile Mars in Aries. It will earlier in the day sextile Chiron in Aries. And right there, especially with Chiron, you know, it's really easy to get caught up in our own story of being a victim, our own story of being a savior, and really wanting to assert our particular role within that dynamic. And Chiron is certainly not making it, that is making it the primary focus in terms of how we each want to self-actualize. It has been challenging us along the way. And Chiron is going to go direct very soon. So this is going to get turned up to 11 and really externalized when that happens. So with the moon today in this sextile, if we can realize that, if we can feel that we're all just wearing a mask, right? We're taking a role in this ritualistic play of playing one side or the other and not becoming completely identified with it, except for the moment when this play is happening, this theatrical process. If we can manage to separate ourselves from the mask that we are wearing, I think that this will really alleviate some of the tension that is going to be erupting today. Now, with the sextile to Mars, this is more about being able to organize all of these many aspects in a large group of people. And with the moon, we're really talking about our internal organization. It's a big businessman at his desk. That is what the degree of the moon in Aquarius is in its sextile to Mars. And so if we can organize those aspects, those multifaceted aspects, organize the collective aspects within us, it will really be jump-started, I think, by Mars. Mars that is in attunement to natural potency, moving forward now, about to leave this degree and move into the next one once Mars reaches full speed. It's gaining momentum after the retrograde. But I think being attuned to this natural potency that in Aries that Mars is representing, because we do want to actualize ourselves. And now that Mars is moving direct, it's really pushing forward with courage and tenacity and a lot of desire and potency. And this attunement specifically is really going to support our emotional ability to organize all of these aspects of ourselves. Okay. Now, this is a lot of fixed energy tomorrow with the moon in Aquarius. That means there's going to be squares to Uranus in Taurus and a square to Mercury in Scorpio, now out of shadow. We are in new Scorpio territory with Mercury. We are moving into new investigations, new information. We are pulling back another layer that we have yet to investigate since Mercury went retrograde. At this point. So, and this was the degree on the 19th, the degree that the sun was at on the day of the election. So Mercury came around showing us a lot of, the ritualistic play that the elite participate in, to show that everybody's getting along. And we're moving past that now. And the information we are about to be presented with, the way that we communicate with each other, how we process this information, we're peeling back another layer now. And it's very depth of emotion, right? Fixed water. This isn't square to Aquarius, fixed air. We want to be able to make sense of things and make connections where they may not normally be made. This is part of being an inventor, right? This is part of being a scientist and a researcher. We're investigating things with Mercury and Scorpio, but the moon in Aquarius, it's very interesting. It's more like a barometer. We want to be able to anticipate what's going to happen and be aware of the cyclic processes, and emotionally, intuitively, we are wanting to feel that, the ability to discover the basic natural facts, whereas Mercury is, well, I'm much more interested in the information that is in the deeper layers. And these aspects coming together in a square are going to be really, really challenging for us today. And then not to mention the fact that the moon in Aquarius is going to be squaring Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius, in Taurus, which is where the moon is very happy. So they kind of have this mutual reception thing going, not technically mutual reception, but there is an understanding of each other's positions, but they're still square because Taurus is fixed earth. And so Uranus is again making a lot of disruption in our ability to anticipate. There's a lot of anticipatory energy in this chart today, and Uranus is so disruptive and so, just revolutionary and quick transformative change when it comes to our ability to look ahead and to anticipate the natural cycles. And with the moon in Aquarius, we are really looking towards actual archetypes of a new culture, right? Kind of like wax, like in a wax museum, like beautifully gowned wax figures. That's the Sabian symbol of the moon at this position. So we want to be inspired by the examples of the new archetypes. And I assure you that there will be ways and instances where we will be presented with these examples of archetypes of a new culture, quote unquote, the new or the Great Reset, right? And the square to Uranus is just like, well, it's really not about the collective. It is about the natural world around us and anticipating those cycles. And this is where the awakening process really stimulates, or it's stimulated by this ability to anticipate what is going to happen. And emotionally, even though we are aloof and a little and detached, and we do trust this cosmic coherence, we are still looking for any kind of footing, any kind of example of where we're headed into this, especially Aquarius, because this is the new age we're heading into. And so there is, even though there's a sense of detachment and aloofness, as I said, we're still going to be looking for some measure of example of what to look toward. And the square with Uranus is really going to create a lot of conflict because it's going to keep our attention on the physical material world, our resources, the things that we value in real life being disrupted. And we have to be able to anticipate the cycles, the natural cycles, as opposed to having those examples provided for us. That is going to be a very challenging aspect today. So it's not a very in-depth report for today, but it's really important to realize that we are on the precipice of major shifts because of the sun then moving into Sag. Venus is going to move into Scorpio. This is where it's going to get very, very interesting because she's going to move out of her home sign and into her detriment, right? Scorpio is her detriment because Venus is at home in Taurus, which is the opposite of Scorpio. So our relationships, the material world around us, how we feel about it, what we value, what's beautiful and harmonious, this is going to start to enter some really murky territory. And in the tarot, the Seven of Cups is ruled by Venus in the third decan of Scorpio. So the further she moves through Scorpio, the more mired down that she gets in the swamp. And this is going, we've been expressing ourselves collectively through this. Mercury is now leading us through the swamp with information and ideas and the way we communicate. But when Venus starts going into the swamp, it is going to be about real life and relationships. And this is where it's going to get really murky. So take advantage of this moon in Aquarius right now, because it's going to allow a certain amount of detachment emotionally from what is happening in order to navigate these really challenging times. So that's the report for today. Like I said, it's not really in depth. There'll be a weekly report coming out by the end of tomorrow. And if you're interested in a reading, everything is in the description box below. Getting on social media. I do lives every morning on Facebook, so you can join me there. That's an intuitive read. And please consider subscribing, especially hitting the like button. It really influences the algorithm and gets the information so the channel can grow and get this information out to people that it could be really helpful for, because we are, like I said, Venus moving into Scorpio, this is where it becomes very real, and it becomes, the swamp becomes part of our real lives at this point. So take care of yourselves truly, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.